So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And tonight I'm joined by not one, but two members from the band Mountaineer. They're a band from San Francisco, California that play post-rock with some doom gaze elements. And actually, this is the second time I had the band on the channel. Like 2 years ago, when the channel was fairly new, I talked to Miguel back then. So again, joining me, I have Miguel, who's the lead vocalist of the band, and I have Jordan, who's the drummer of the band. So first of all, guys, how's everything in San Francisco?
It's hot, man. It's so hot.
Well,
It's like 100. It's like 104.
oh wow! So
It's
you're
extremely hot. Yeah.
Puerto Rico, it's being extremely hot. And as we're filming this, like just 2 days ago, a hurricane was at the bottom of us. That was like it's the biggest hurricane in June. It's a category 5 right now. It's in Jamaica. So hopefully the people of Jamaica are staying safe. But when I saw,
Wow.
I got like PTSD because I was here in Puerto Rico when we had Maria. Because last time that we talked, Miguel, I was living in Miami, but I moved back to Puerto Rico. So now
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's cool. Yeah.
yeah, I moved back. A lot of changes in 2 years, but everything's cool. So we're the last time that we talked, you had the last album that I remember. I actually bought that record from you guys on vinyl.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That giving up the ghost.
Giving Up the Ghost. And we talked about that album and about the themes. And I remember at that time that album was like a shorter record, and I think we spoke at that time why it was shorter because the pandemic and time to
Yeah.
record and
Yeah.
all
We
that
just we
stuff.
just didn't have we just didn't have we didn't force it. We just whatever it was that we came up with. That's what we recorded. We didn't want to add
Yeah,
anything
I
that we
remember.
weren't
Yeah.
like 100% about.
So now
So
you're coming up with your fifth album, which is called Dawn and All That Follows. And this album it's longer than the last album. And this album really had a lot of dynamics of like I felt a lot of like that doom gaze element on the songs, very epic tracks. I love it that when they send me this promo, it says if you like Smashing Pumpkins and Baroness, I'm like, that's a weird combination.
yeah, usually it's really hard to say like, oh, I think we think we sound like anything. I just think those are like groups that we really like, and I think those are groups that like kind of we're influenced by, especially Smashing Pumpkins. Baroness, we really like. Some of the guys like, some other guys don't. But definitely like the alternative metal side of them is a big influence on us. I know that they're pretty crazy with their guitars, lots of
Oh
like
yeah.
noodly sounds, and we don't do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're definitely a huge influence on
Yeah.
some of us.
Yeah, they put that the genre is post rock, metal, doom gaze, sludge pop, alt rock. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of things. But
That was
uh,
it. Yeah.
there is element, and of course, uh, I talked last time with Miguel. I know Miguel loves Depeche Mode, The Cure,
He
and
does.
and
Very
on this album, there's a lot of like great singing on this record. And I remember I got to know the band with Bloodletting from 2020. And I can say I've listened to your albums, and I must say that I can tell you, Couchers, I think this is we said offline that now every band says this is the best material, but I do think this is your best record yet. So
Thank you. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
So last time we didn't have Jordan. So Jordan,
Yeah.
you being the drummer for you, like I know which drummers got you into drumming.
Oh, wow. We want to go back. So, yeah, I think of this as my Mount Rushmore, I guess. I mean, I started young, I think fifth grade school band. I knew I wanted to at least play the snare drum and work myself up to the drum set by eighth grade. But yeah, the guys, and you know, the people that I looked up to, definitely, you know, Cavalera from Sepultura was huge for me. Danny Schuler from Biohazard for the groove. I still love what that guy's doing. You know, Danny Carey, of course, from Tool, Tim Alexander from Primus. You know, those are the guys that really jump in. You know, of course, Bonham, the Ward, you know, Sabbath. So the list does go on, but those are the ones that really jump out at me. I think Cavalera the most, especially with Chaos 80 with that album. It was just so I knew it that I was pretty young when I heard it, and I knew that's kind of where I wanted to go with just the heaviness, how hard that guy hit, but also would break it down and just be really, really groovy and be right in the pocket. Of course, all of his thrash drumming is amazing. For me, it was Chaos 80. That was the real sweet spot. That was what I really dialed into when I was a young dude, and that's kind of stuck with me all these years.
Awesome. So for this album, I know you guys also, there's more new things. You guys signed with a different record label for this one. So the record label, I have two record labels, A Thousand Arms and Dunk Records.
Right.
I don't know why when when I first got the promo, for some reason I thought I read Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm like, what? I'm like, Dunkin' Donuts is a record label?
I mean, free donuts, coffee, that wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know why I'm like, no, Dunk Records. So
Dunk
tell us a little bit about your experience of new record label for this new album.
But we just wanted, you know, we felt like we wanted to just put ourselves out there and try something new, and just, you know, we'd been with Life Force for 4 releases, and Life Force has been great to us. We had a great time with them, but we just wanted, you know, we wanted to put ourselves out there and see if there was anyone else who was willing to give us a chance, you know, and maybe reach parts of this genre that we haven't reached before, you know, and I think with A Thousand Arms and Dunk, we're definitely in the right place. They, you know, we love post rock and post metal, and they're, you know, to me, it seems like the right place to be at, especially with this release.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I mean, that, you know, you go and listen to some of the bands that are on those labels, and there's some incredible talent on those labels. There really are some bands that I didn't know about that I listen to pretty much regularly now, and I think it's a good place for Mountaineer. I think it makes sense for us to be on the label. Some good, yeah, we're among great company for sure.
Sometimes when you think about it, everyone's afraid of change, but sometimes change is necessary in life. Like it's especially so. This album, I think, is it's really an evolution for the band. I really like the songwriting on this record and how songs go through like there's some long tracks on this album, but they take their time, and there's some great lush like guitars on this record. So when I was listening to this, and today I listened to the record like 4 times because and I'm like, wow, yeah, it keeps getting better. And obviously, you choose the track that you chose for to promote is the lead song, which is Cradle Song, and you have a video. But a lot of people were complaining in the comments, the lyrics, and I'm like, too, I want the lyrics. But Cradle, yeah, it's a great like opening for this album because it's slow, it's moody, but it also has some great pacing to it. And I was trying to analyze what I was listening because I saw the album artwork and the song, and it sounds like I don't know if it's about death because last time that I talk about Miguel, like every song, it's about death, it's about this. I'm like, dude, write something more. Like what, like everything is about dying, but Cradle song, what's it about, Miguel?
It's a lullaby.
Oh, you
Uh,
got that because of the Cradle song, but since you have some sinister stuff, like is it a sinister lullaby? Because no, it sounds very pretty.
no, it's so a lot of the themes on this record are all about you know, being in a dream state, or like, you know, astral projection.
Yeah, I was getting to that because I saw the album artwork. So we'll talk about astral projections in a bit.
Cradle, yeah, but Cradle song is basically it's a lullaby. I know you don't have the lyrics, and that's probably our mistake. We should have added some lyrics to the visualizer, but we didn't. Yeah, it's about putting someone to sleep, basically.
You and I have experiences in that.
Correct.
But my song would be like, go to sleep, you little fucker.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically it's like, you know, you're you know, the song is just basically you're with someone and you're asking them, you know, if they're asleep or if they're awake. And also it could be like asking yourself, I don't know if I'm sleeping or if I'm awake, because, you know, I don't know if this is real or not. So it's about entering a dream state and you know, astral projection.
Yeah, I remember as a kid reading all about that. I don't know if you got those books that was like unsolved. It wasn't unsolved mysteries, but it was like a Time magazine put some books and they were all about different stuff. And there was one about astral projectors and also doppelgangers. And I was always afraid, oh my God, there's another version of me out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I'm thinking, man, that would have been great because if I've done something bad, now it's like, hey, I saw you doing that. You must have seen my doppelganger. Then you quoted Shaggy. That wasn't me. But yeah, astral projection. So now that we're gonna talk about that, I want to show the artwork because when I saw the artwork, it's like this is astral projections. And so yeah, we have here someone that's sleeping and their soul is actually leaving the body, and you see like the on the it's a in this artwork is more easy to interpret than your last one because I remember your last one I had no idea what the artwork was supposed to be, but this one is pretty cool. So tell us a little bit about, obviously it's about astral projections, but tell me a little bit about the inspiration.
Yeah, so you know, like I was mentioning a minute ago, when we went into the, you know, we weren't really trying to have a theme. I feel like all of our records before all had a theme, but we ended up landing into just themes about you know, being in a dream state and or being sleepless at night and having all these things that keep you awake, and just thinking about, you know, the things you don't talk about with people, and
Usually
yeah.
that happens to me, but I'm thinking about the bills I have to pay.
Yeah, yeah, this is definitely more you know, like the things that keep you up at night. But yeah, so we wanted something that you know, like translated that immediately, like you wouldn't have no question about what the album's about, like. And you know, there is lyrics inside the packaging, so once you go through those, you'll see that everything is about, you know, basically going through a dream state and leaving the body while you're sleeping.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept, and you see in the artwork that everything is black and white except the astral, use the like the astral plane where the body is going to be projected to. And also, I like the album title, because it's a song and it's one of the longest songs on the record with Dawn and all that follows, which is an interesting album title. When you guys as a band were choosing the album title for this one, how did you come up that this would be the fitting title for the record?
Well, we thought about it a long time. We didn't know, and I think we might have had. Is that right, Jordan? We might have had a different title at some point.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember if this was a song before it was the album title. Like, did we had that song locked down as that title, and then we said this needs to be the album.
Yeah, yeah. There was definitely the themes and the lyrics were there, and I think someone said something about Dawn, something similar, and Clayton, who plays guitar in the band, he was like, "Oh, Dawn and all that follows." It just rolls off the tongue, like it just sounds good, and we kept it as a tentative title for a while, but then it just once we had that title, it kind of started to influence the themes of all the songs. So that's how, Dawn and all that. You're waiting. It's like you're waiting for that next day.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
whatever may come.
Yeah, no, and that song is in the middle of the record. It's one of the longest tracks on the record. Actually, it is the longest track on the record at 7:43. And after that, it follows another great song, Testimonial, which I thought that one was great. But since I don't have the lyrics, I was trying to see because you can understand, because there's a lot of clean singing on this record. There's just a few parts here and there where it gets like sludgier, but usually it's more a clean vocals, very like doom, I don't know, doom gaze post rock type of way. So Testimonial, that one, there's a few songs that caught my attention. And I remember Testimonial was one of them. And I'm like, I got to ask because, Testimonial was you like, maybe since this is all about a dream state, this is like after you're dreaming, you write something down that you remember. So what's the theme in Testimonial?
Well, this is Jordan's favorite song, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I like this one.
Why is it your favorite, Jordan?
I love I love the heaviness when it comes in.
Yeah, that's the one that there's a heavier part that goes like dun dun and really picks up like at the half point.
Yeah. To me, it's big. That there's the intro, and then it comes in really big and slow. It comes in big and slow, and it's just very almost hypnotic to me. That when I listen to it, that's kind of how I feel when I'm listening to that first part of Testimonial. And I like to play it. I think that's a fun song to play. So yeah, I locked, and especially when we got the tracks back from Ben, and listening through it, I was happy with every song. That one really stuck out to me, and I do think it's just it's the darkness and the heaviness. And I'm not so much talking about the lyrics, because I think Miguel has, the way he approached these songs, I think they're great lyrics, and I think that the delivery is really good for what the songs are. But the music itself, to me, is dark, heavy, and slow, and I really like that. Not all of our stuff is dark, heavy, and slow. We've got a little, some more upbeat thing, tracks on this album. But yeah, I think that's that one. I go back and forth. I listen. I hear songs, and I go, oh, you know what? I love this one. And then certain songs we play live, I love them live. I love to play them live, and I feel like they go over really well live. Whereas maybe a Testimonial, because it's slow, might not be a track that we would always play live. So it varies, but I do like that song. I'm glad you like it too.
Yeah, so
we have played it live. We played it live a couple of times, I think, right?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. I think it's one of those ones that, depending on the bill, we do our best to kind of play the songs that that match the bill that we're on. You know, if we're really heavy bands, we'll go with kind of our heavier stuff. And I think that's what's cool about Mountaineer, is that there's some good diversity there. And you know, I'm not sure if you know, Hector, this is my first go around with these guys. So this is my first album as the drummer of Mountaineer. And
no, I didn't know.
So I was very lucky to get a call from Clayton and Miguel about 2.5, almost 3 years ago. And my good friend Patrick, who was the drummer for the previous albums, had to move to the East Coast. I played another band that played with these guys, and they said, "Hey, let's talk to Jordan and see." And so that's the last 2.5 years is history. So yeah, and it's been really cool writing with these guys and kind of just doing all the stuff that band guys.
It is a nice story that the other drummer had to go, and he basically like he did what, so he's like, hey, you should take my spot, and it's no like back and forth like, oh, you took my place.
No, you know, it's
no Dave Mustaine story, you know. You put them on a bus, so that's nice.
No, Patrick's a great guy, and he was very happy for me. You know, he gave me all the, hey, this is what I used for cymbals on the last album. This is what I, my setup with Mountaineer, and he's awesome, dude. Awesome. In fact, I got a text from him, that you're gonna kill it. The first right before the very first show, I played with these guys. So yeah, it's been all good stuff all the way around.
That's awesome. Sure. Yeah, and it's good because the drumming sounds great on this record. So Miguel, what is Testimonial about?
It's about having insomnia and not being able to sleep, and
almost had it.
you're going through all those thoughts in your head, and you're hoping that when the day comes, you might find some kind of relief, but the probability of that is not looking very good. So yeah, basically about staying up at night because you have all this anxiety and all these thoughts that won't leave your head.
And the good thing is that you're not Taylor Swift. If not, the record would be called Midnights.
Well, actually, the Testimonial did have another title for a little bit, but we changed it.
What was the working title?
We had Cold Moon was going to be the song title for a little bit, and then we were like, Cold Moon. What about Testimonial? And
Testimonial sounds better than
Cold
Moon.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's a very good track. So it's about insomnia and like waking up and probably like writing something because you can't fall asleep. Miguel, like, do the lyrics come to you? Do you sometimes get insomnia and wake up or think of a song and just write it down?
I have a really hard time falling asleep most times. I do stay up late.
Dude. It's like me. I had a hard time falling asleep and a hard time. It doesn't matter at what time. I don't know if you have kids, Jordan, but you can put them to bed at 5 a.m. in the morning, and they can wake up at 6 because the sun came up. And you're like, but you just went to bed. So
yeah. Yes. No. That's the title of that's the theme of the song. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It makes sense. So sometimes you woken up and reading stuff down. Sometimes it's good, so it's fresh in your memory. Another tracks that actually I like all the tracks, but another track that I really enjoyed and I love the title is "You Will Always Be One of Us." I almost thought that could have been a great album title as well. Like,
it does have a nice ring to it. Yeah. That was another song that didn't have a title for a really long time, and we were kind of like thought about different things, and we were like, we couldn't find anything that worked. And then Clayton, our guitar player, like, one day was like, I've always liked this, wanted to use this title, "You Will Always Be One of Us," and we were like, that's perfect. Let's just use that. That sounds.
That could be a perfect.
And it kind of, it's fitting with the theme of the song as well. So it made sense.
What's the theme there?
The theme of the song is basically you're passing on, and you're basically letting everyone know that it's okay, and that whatever has happened is not your fault, and that not to worry, because you will be visiting these people in their sleep, in their dreams, and you'll always say hello and say goodbye in dreams.
You could have sent this to Disney for Coco. And they'll be like, no, it's kind of too dark. And
Yeah.
Disney, this is a movie about dead people, and the kid is going to die if he stays in the dead world. like
Coco, right? Isn't that Coco?
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah. The song's about Coco, actually.
This song, like, people are gonna be like, what? No, yeah, but it's a great title. Also, it could be a great title for a horror movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the other track, every track is good, but I thought Parallels was really great, because with the theme, there's almost like there's a line at the end that I can't remember the line right now, that you end the album, and I think you say something like, I don't know if you say everything's going to be okay or everything's going to pass. I'm trying to remember that last line, because I remember right now that the last line on that song was really like incredible, and now I can't remember it for the life of me.
It's this moment could last forever.
Yes, I'm like, yeah, this moment could last forever. And with the song and the themes parallel, so maybe it's like, that's the point where you're like half awake and half asleep. So like the body returning to the astral projection returning to the body.
That's a great interpretation, but actually, it's about you're living a parallel life, with this other person, and you guys are kind of have a feeling that you somehow know them, but you've never met them, and at the end you break that parallel line and you run into each other. But you somehow you guys have always known each other.
That's fucking beautiful, Miguel. Yeah, I know, but I know what you mean. It's like, that's like the concept of like when you meet someone and you say that it's love at first sight, or like you meet someone and it's like you know them. And yeah, that doesn't happen very often. But actually, like when I met my current girlfriend right now, that's like the type of feeling. Like I met her, and like from like everything flowed, the communication, I feel like I know this person for longer. So yeah, it's a good real feeling that a lot of people never experience. So yeah, it's Miguel, you've got him, like, this is a very deep album. But I wish I had the lyric sheet.
I'll send them to you.
But because I want to review this album the week it comes out, and I don't want to have those jerks on the comment like, you fucked it up, man. like this song is clearly about this.
I'll send you the lyrics. I have them on my computer. As soon as we're done, I'll send you an email.
I think the good thing about your lyrics is that they can be interpreted in different ways, but all the themes and about these parallel lines, and that last line on that track, it like stays with you. And with that song, you almost did that thing that bands did in the 80s, I remember in the 80s when bands didn't know how to end a song and they would just like put the volume down and fade away. You kind of did that with that song. You're like, and that's something that bands don't do a lot these days. They ended, but I think that fade away thing, I think the Police did it great. They, almost all their songs were fadeaways. Was that an homage to bands that you love from the 80s?
No, but actually, so we didn't actually fade out. We kind of slow down into like an ending.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a fade out, but it's not.
It's almost like
it's almost like a grand ending kind of, you know, like the end of the play, you know, just like this big like huge ending, and then we bow, you know, like
you could do like a trend. You could bring fade outs again, make them popular again, because now like that's happened. And I was curious because I don't know why band did that back in the days. Sometimes I thought maybe it's because they're like, we don't know how to end this song. Let's just have it.
Probably. I know there's a lot of songs with fade outs. Actually, if you go back and listen to our first record, almost every song fades out.
So was it because you didn't know how to end the song, or you're like, it just sounds cool?
No, we just did it because it sounded cool. And I mean, Jordan was part of this process more than I was, so he can probably explain better.
Yeah, I think you know, endings, you want to have a nice, I don't know, epic's not the right word, but you know, you want to end and for it to be memorable. So I think, you know, the 8 tracks that we have, I don't think we actually fade out. I'm a fan of fade out. I'm an 80s kid, so I mean, I'm totally good with fade outs. But these 8 tracks, yeah, I think we just tried to come up with you know, memorable ways to end them. And you know, the writing process with these guys is very much you know, we're all together. Usually a riff or two is brought in, and then we're working as a team. And Miguel's over here on the side. He stands just to the right of me when we rehearse, and he's always watching, always listening, always got his, you know, notepad or his phone out. And half the time we're working on a song, and he's already got a full concept. He's like, I know what this song's about. I may not have all the words, but I know what this song is. And to me, that's pretty impressive. I mean, we haven't even finished the thing, and you know, and this guy's already got his ideas.
Yeah, Miguel writes cool songs, but come on, he's a fan of Robert Smith from The Cure, Depeche Mode. He's had years of like interesting lyrics to like help him hone his craft.
And don't forget Morrissey.
Big Morrissey, and yeah, like I've been following like since the last time I interviewed Miguel. I've been friends in Instagram, and like sometimes like I see all the music that he puts, and like, yeah, he listens to a lot of different stuff, and I'm envious of some concerts that he's been to. Last year you saw I'm obsessed with Chino Moreno, and you saw them with Crosses, which a lot of people, I love Deftones, they're my favorite bands, but I think Crosses is his most interesting side project because you know, with Sean Lopez, I think it's just sounds so different that from Deftones, that I love it. How were they live, Miguel?
Dude, it's like they sounded great. They sounded just like it. You know, it's amazing to see because it's just guitars, and I know they have a bunch of programmed synths, but super energetic, man. Like Chino's a great front man. Runs around back and forth, and he looks great now. He lost a lot of weight. He looks just like he did back in, like, you know, the late 90s, man.
There's a lot of people online that sometimes I saw that they make fun of him because like he gained, like I remember he gained a lot of weight after Saturday Night Wrist.
Yeah, but yeah, he dropped it all, man. He looks great and great live. Yeah, Crosses. I had a chance to see them So last year, they played a small venue in San Francisco. It's called the Chapel, and it was super small. So it was
Those are
great.
the best type of shows. When
Yeah,
it's small and intimate. I love smaller shows than super big venues.
yeah, and because I had no clue that we were gonna go on tour again. So I bought those tickets as soon as it went on sale, and then a few weeks later they announced their big tour, and I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go see them again because
Why
you never
not?
know. They might, crosses. Who knows? Maybe they won't ever put out another album. Team Sleep, they only put out the one, so yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Deftones and Chino as well. They're one of my top, definitely in the top 10 of my most favorite bands out there. So
Yeah, I think they're going to drop something this year. At least I was hearing they're dropping something this year, but so many music. And you also I think you saw The Cure last year, or because
yeah, and actually Jordan went to they played a weekend. They did a Saturday and a Sunday. I went the Saturday, and Jordan went the Sunday. That was a great concert, man.
That guy sounds like he did 30 years ago. He sounds amazing.
Yeah.
He hasn't missed a beat at all. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, no,
And the new songs, man, those new songs, they played new songs,
Yeah.
and they're so good. I can't wait. I know The Cure keeps promising a new album like every
what
year, and
was
it's
their
been
last
like
album? It's
it's
been a
been
lot. It's
it
been
was
a
it
hot
was
minute,
it
right?
was what was the name of that album? Oh my God, I can't. Uh, 13 Dream,
Yeah,
I think.
it's been a long time. I haven't heard of The Cure in a long
It's
time.
been like, I want to say it's been like almost 20 years since they put out a record.
Wow.
And yeah, so they're due, and those songs sound so good, so I can't wait.
Yeah, and I know Depeche Mode put out an album last year that I loved. It was in my top 10.
Yeah, that was a great record as well.
It was
And
where they had
the
that
tour
song
was great
that
too.
Will Be Ghost Again. That was I'm like that song could stand toe to toe with Enjoy the Silence and Personal Jesus, and it sounded just as great. So I feel like Rick Beato now, like like analyzing the stuff. So yeah, so this new album, yeah, it's I think, yeah, I do think, because I've been listening to it today for more times. I'm like, yeah, it keeps getting. It's an album that you have to sit down and each listen you hear something different. But yeah, I like the themes on it and the tones. I think the tones of this record, I think the guitar tone you chose is a guitar tone that is soothing, maybe because of the theme of dreaming, because it's dreams, it's not nightmares. If you
Well,
want,
it could be.
yeah, there's parts where
But yes, but yeah. No, everything was extremely intentional this time around on this. We really, when we got together, I mean, this has been like, how long has it been, Jordan? Like a year and a half of
yeah,
writing?
except that you were like 14, or you work a long time on this one.
Yeah. And then it was something like that. And we recorded it was it August? So
It
going
was,
on.
it was, I mean, it was, we recorded it a year ago, a
Yeah. So
little bit over a year. Yeah.
Yep. So we were there for a little over a week in the studio, every day. And yeah, it's a cool process.
So
Yeah.
the
Oh no,
album
go for it.
coming out July 26th. That's the day.
Yeah.
July 26th. That's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Yeah. So
we did a video before that too, Hector. We've got Parallels coming. I don't know what day.
I think the release of Parallels is on Monday.
oh,
This Monday
This
coming
coming
out. I
so
think so. I think so.
once this is out, Parallels will be out there, people. So are you guys, when the album drops, are you doing like a album release show?
We're trying to figure that out.
Yeah. We're putting something together. We've got some, there's a cool band down in Santa Cruz that wants to, we're probably going to do it in our area. Oakland is our spot. where we've got we practice in Oakland, and we've got a lot of friends there and stuff. So we're trying to put together a good show, probably sometime in August, I would say. We're literally been talking about that the last couple of days. So yeah, that will happen for sure.
Yeah. So before I let you guys go, since we're at the half point of the year, what music, like what new music have you guys been enjoying this year?
Well, that Crosses record for sure.
Yeah, it came out last year, but it counts. You're listening to
it count. Well, yeah. This year,
like
actually,
Good Morning, Good Night, God Bless. It had a good title.
yeah, I'm actually. What came out this year that I've Jordan? What do you think? I can't think of
something heavy. The High on Fire is good. There's this band Resin. I don't know if you guys,
I interviewed them on the channel, and I actually
killer.
reviewed the album that they put out 3 weeks ago called Burden.
Yes, I was just gonna say that's like top of my list right at the moment. I got it. I didn't know who they were until I want to say 2 years ago, and I went to see Russian Circles, and because Russian Circles is amazing, and they had this opener Resin coming with them from Chicago, same hometown.
Yeah, they're from Chicago.
I'm like, man, this band, they guy on keys, guy playing saxophone, really cool, but still heavy. So yeah, I think Resin is the one that jumps into my head for 2024 as a super solid album.
Yeah, and they put out an album in 2023 because when I interviewed them for that last album. So this part, Burden, is like the second part from the album that they put out in 2023, which I think is called Solace. So yeah, pretty cool. They use like, there's a song where they use like, it's not flutes, but it's like that, like a stick that you use, and it does sounds like it's raining, and they use that on the record, which I thought was pretty, something like that.
They're experimental. I mean, their songs are really groovy, heavy, but at the same time, they're using sounds that most heavy bands
also
don't
meditate to them.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're really cool. I want to see them again, because when I saw them the first time, I wasn't too familiar. I was there for Russian Circles, but now that I know them, I'm definitely so.
They're on tour right now with Paul Bear.
But they're not coming to the Paul Bearer dates here. They're not on them, so I'm a little bummed. But I do like Paul Bearer as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a cool band. Yeah. Cool
for
band.
sure. Yeah.
So you've been listening to Resin, and Miguel's been listening to Crosses. But yeah,
Knocked Loose. The new Knocked Loose is really good.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Right now, to me, right now I'm thinking that could be the album of the year for me. I wasn't a fan of Knocked Loose, because I thought that they sounded like, yeah, it sounds like a typical metalcore record, but this record, what these guys did in 27 minutes, it's amazing. And that song with Poppy, I usually find Poppy annoying. But on that song, and if that's something interesting about that song, is the one that Suffocate. They do a guitar riff that it sounds, it's funny because I'm from Puerto Rico, so I know reggaeton, but it sounds like a reggaeton riff, but in hardcore. You can actually dance to it. And I'm like, oh God, I can't believe that they did that. But yeah, that's a great.
It's so random. I know. I know the exact song you're talking about. It's very random. It works. It works. It sounds good.
Yeah. The song
there's another song, and which I just actually showed Jordan like a week and a half ago or so. This band, Speed, from I think they're from Australia. I can't remember where they're from, but it's super 90s hardcore, like East Coast.
I need to listen to that one. I haven't heard.
The breakdown has a flute in it. It's so good. It's like when I first heard it, I was like, "What is this?" Like I started laughing because I couldn't believe there was like it's like super heavy and mean, and it's like, and then you hear this flute, and you're like, what?
Did they get the dude from Jethro Tull?
And that's exactly what came to mind. I'm like, this is like Jethro Tull.
I took your money.
Yeah, no, and then I went and listened to all their stuff. They're great. So that's another band.
Keith, I will check them out because I haven't listened to that one.
Super good.
There's so much like for that old boomer that complains like there's no good music. There's tons of good music. The thing is that they do not get played on the radio.
Yeah, you just have to dig for it, man. I mean, like I always like I try to stay on, I try to stay on track and like listen to, keep my ears open. But sometimes I miss on a couple of things and I won't pick them up until the next year. But there's another band, is kind of a super group, well, for hardcore anyway. It has a couple of guys from The Feeder and some guys from Verse. I don't know if you ever listened to
What's
Verse.
the name of the band?
They're called Love Letter.
Oh yeah,
guys, man.
they put up some.
The record. I think it just came out this week. Super good.
I've been digging another band called Foreign Hands, which is another hardcore band with 90s stuff that I've been digging. So yeah, cool stuff. So so before I let you guys go, right, what would you like to say to the Mountaineer fans? Like what to expect the next few months?
Just want to say that this is probably our most collective effort to date, and probably my favorite record we've ever written. The collection of songs this is probably the best package of songs we've ever released. It's our first record with Jordan on drums, so there's a different groove to it, and I think it's our most accessible. I think this time around we really did our homework and we really said, like let's write the best songs we can and put them out there. Like let's not like settle on anything. We took our time. Like we didn't just write like 8 songs and said like, okay, now we're done. No, we really took our time, hashed it out. If it didn't sound right, we put it in we chopped it out and started all over again. So yeah, we feel extremely strong about it. Cradle Song is out there. Parallels is coming next week, and then we'll have a third single, Prism. Yeah. And there'll be a couple of other surprises coming up to the release of the record. But Jordan?
Yeah, you said it all, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm very excited. July 26th has been on my calendar for a long time. It was cool to see Cradle Song come out, and I think the reception has been good so far. And yeah, I think that everything to come is just, yeah, it's just awesome stuff right now for us. And I think there's 6 of us in the band. I think we're all kind of in that same feeling that we wrote 8 songs that we felt good about. You go through each song and we all feel that those are good songs. Those are solid songs. Yeah. And I,
like Club 41 will say, it's all killer, no filler.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. On this
record. I hope people agree. I hope people agree with this.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed every song. I thought every song had the potential to be singles. They were catchy, they were memorable, the guitar was great. They were accessible, but not accessible to a way that you would say like, oh, this is lame, or like they sold out. It's because, people hear accessible and they think, oh, it's not going to be heavy or it's not going to be good, but no. I think they're accessible in a heavy way, and heavy in the theme way, because you can be super heavy, but have crap lyrics too. So, so yeah, it's a great record. I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend to people who like, post-rock, doom gaze, all of that song, post-rock, because yeah, it has all of that. And yeah, it's going to be out on the 26th of July. I'll post the link for people who want to pre-order. So I want to thank Miguel and Jordan, for joining me virtually from San Francisco to Puerto Rico to talk about the new album. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.